Good morning, everyone. Jai Shri Ram. Today I'll start chapter 4. Hanuman enters city of Lanka of Sunderkand of Valmiki Ramayana. I will briefly give some information about this chapter and recite verses 1 to 29, explaining its meaning. Entering Lanka at night by placing his left foot, desiring the destruction of enemies, Hanumana hears various musical instruments being played upon inside. He also observes enemies' forces and moves towards the royal gymnasium. Verses 1 to 29. सनिर्जत्य पुरीं लङ्का श्रेष्ठां तां कामरूपिणीं विक्रमेण महातेजा हनुमान कपिसत्तमः अत्राणेन महातेजा हनुमान कपिसत्तमः प्रविश्य नगरीं लङ्कां कपिराज हितमङ्करः चक्रेण अथ पदं सव्यं शत्रूणां सतु मूर्धिनः प्रविष्टः सत्त्वसम्पन्नो विशायाम मारुतमार्जनः समहापथमास्थाय मुक्तापुष्य विराजिताम् ततस्तु तां पुरीं लङ्कां रम्यामयी पिययो कपिः हसित उदुष्टनिदैः तूर्यघोषपुरैसरैः वज्र अङ्कुशनिकाशैः च वज्रजालविभूषितैः गृहमेघैः पुरीरम्या बभाषे द्योः इव अम्बुदैः प्रज्ज्वाल तदा लङ्का रक्षः गृहैः शुभैः सीत अभ्रशतैः चित्रैः पद्मस्वस्तिकसंशिस्तैः वर्धमान गृहे च अपि सर्वतः सुविभाषितैः ताम चित्रमाल्य आभरणां कपि राजहितं करः रागम् अर्थं चरं श्रीमान् ददर्श च नन्ददत्त च भवनात् वनं गच्छन् ददर्श पवनात्मजः विविधाकृतिरूपाणि भवनानि ततस्ततः शुश्राव मधुरं त्रिस्थान स्वरभूषितां श्रीराम मदसमृद्धानां दिवि च अप्सरसाम इव शुश्रावकान्विनिदम नुपुराणं च निहस्तवं सोपानीनदामः चैव भवनेषु महात्मनम् आस्फुटित नीनादामः च क्षेमीतां च ततः श्रुषावजप्तां तत्र मन्मन रक्षो गृहेषु वै स्वाधयनिरतां चैव यातु दानान् ददर्शः सः रावणस्तव सन्मुक्तान् गर्जतः राक्षसान् अपि राजमार्गं समावृत्त स्थितं रक्षः बलं महत् ददर्श मध्यमे गुल्मे राक्षसस्य चरान् बहून् दीक्षितान् जटिलान् मुण्डान् गह अजीन अम्बरवासः दर्भमुष्टि प्रहरणान् अग्नि कुण्ड आयुधामः यथा कुटमुत्तरपाणिमः च दण्ड आयुधधरान् अपि एक अक्ष अनेककर्णामः च चललम्बपयःधरान् करालान् भुक्तवक्तामः च विकटान् वामनामः यथा धन्वीनः खड्गिनः चैव सतन्ति मुशल आयुधान् परीग उत्तमहस्तामः च विचित्रकवच उज्ज्वलान् नातिस्थूलान् नातिकृशान् नातिर्गद अतिहस्तकान् नातिघोराणि तित्कृशान् नातिकुम्भान् वामनां विरूपान् बहुरूपामः च शूरूपामः च सुर्वश्चः ध्वजीनपताकीनश्चैव ददर्श विदयुक्तान् शक्तिवृक्ष आयुधामः चैव पट्टेशः अशनिधारिणः क्षेपणीपाशहस्तामः च ददर्श स महाकपिः स्त्रमीणः च अनुलिप्तामः च वरुण आभरणभूषितान् नानावेशमायुक्तान् अन्था स्वैकरतान् बहून् तीक्ष्णशूलधरामः चैव वज्रिणः च महाबलान् शतसहस्र अव्यग्रम आरक्षं मध्यमम कपिः रक्षोधिपति निर्दिष्टं ददर्शान्तः पुराकृतः स तदा तथ गृहं दृष्टा महाः च कतोरणं राक्षसेन्द्रस्य विख्यात मदिमृदि प्रतिष्ठितं पुण्डरीकावन्तं साम्बैः परिखाभिरलम्बकृतं प्राकार आवृतम् अन्त्यं ददर्श स महाकपिः त्रिविष्टं नीमं दिव्यनादविदादितं वाजिहेषितसमुष्टं नादितं भूषणैः तथा रथैयानैः विमानैः च तथा गजहये शुभैः वारणैः च चतुर्भुजैः श्वेत अश्व अभ्रनिचयौमैः भूषितं रुचिरद्वारं मचैः च मृगपक्षिभिः राक्षस अधिपतेः गुप्तम् आविवेश गृहं कपिः साहिं जाम्बुन्दद चक्रवाम महार्हमुक्ता बणिभूषितात्तं प्रार्थ्य कालागुरुचन्दनाक्तं स रावणान्तः पुरमाविवेश इति रामायणे सुन्दरकाण्डे 4th सर्गः. Which means that Hanumana, the best among Vanaras, the great radiant one, the long-armed one, and conquered with his might the best Lanka, who is capable of assuming desired form. He then leapt over the city wall at a place that was not a gate. Desiring the benefit of the king of Vanara Sugriva, that Hanumana entered the city of Lanka and thus actually placed his left foot on the enemy's head. That son of Vayu, endowed with a great strength, entered the city at night and took the grand road shone by flowers and pearls. After that, Hanumana went towards the beautiful city of Lanka. The beautiful city shone like the sky together with clouds, with its cloud-like houses filled with sounds of laughter and with sounds of musical instruments at the interior, equal in strength to diamonds and clubs, and with windows decorated with diamonds. He saw many spies of Ravana and a big army of ogres which stood surrounding the royal highways in the central zone of city. Hanumana saw those who were initiated into various Vedic practices, those who wore matted locks on their head, those who had shaven heads, those who wore cowhides and other clothing, those who were carrying kushagrass as weapon, and also those who had fire vessels as weapons, those who carried hammers and clubs in their hands, and also those who had worn staffs as weapons, those who were one-eyed, those who had one ear, those who were pot-bellied and with hanging breasts, those who had horrible appearances, those with twisted mouths, those who were horrific and also short people, those who carried bows and arrows, those who carried swords, those who carried pistols and clubs as weapons, those who carried excellent parigahas and in their hand, those who shone with strange armor, those who were not very fat, those who were not too thin, those who were neither tall nor short, those who were not very fair, those who were not very dark, those who were not very hunchbacked, those who were not very short, those who had great brilliance, those who carried banners, those who carried flags, and those who carried different weapons. Hanumana saw many people who had great might, who carried javelins and trees as weapons, those who carried patisas and thunderbolts, those who carried in their hands slings and nooses, those who carried flowers, garlands, wearing sandal paste and decorated with best jewelry, those who had various kinds of appearances roaming freely at will, those who carried sharp spikes and thunderbolts. Hanumana saw at the front of the inner city 100,000 central protective force, which was attentive and was positioned there at the command of Ravana. The Hanumana saw Ravana's house with a golden doorway. That famed house was on top of a mountain. Moats filled with white lotuses surrounded it. It was also surrounded by a compound wall. He watched the house again and again. The great Hanumana entered secretly Ravana's inner city, which was equal to paradise, rendered noisy by neighing of horses and tinkling of ornaments, by chariots, vehicles and aerial cars, and decorated by auspicious elephants and horses and great elephants with a foretusk, and by birds and animals in heat. It had beautiful entrance and was protected by thousands of Rakshasas with great strength. Hanumana entered inner city of Ravana, which was filled with gold, which had a golden courtyard and a central area decorated by pearls and diamonds of great value, and sprinkled daily with water containing superb Valmiki and sandalwood. Thus, the fourth chapter in Sunderkand of Valmiki Ramayana is complete. Jai Shri Ram.